So we can argue. Some people would take them right back to the early centuries. Some people would take them rather later. But what we could say is, for example, the idea that Scottish patriotism and the desire to defend and support the nation was associated with the north of Scotland dates back to the 15th century. And James IV, for example, ordered a hunting suit entirely in tartan. Tartan became associated as it was not solely a northerly garb. It's recorded that the majority of women had at least one plaid item in Edinburgh in 1750. I mean, they didn't wear the great plaid, but they wore scarves or they wore accessories which were tartan. Um, so it became associated with patriotism, and that's why it ended up with the Jacobite armies from 1689 1745 clothing all their soldiers in tartan, except the French regulars who absolutely refused. But even the Manchester Regiment in 1745 was clothed in tartan, and anybody from anywhere was clothed in tartan. Even if you were, as one volunteer was, a soap boiler from Herefordshire, you only use your tartan because you are fighting. For the patriot cause and the king. So tartan tartan was prescribed in 1746, except in the British Army, probably because, or almost certainly because, the British government were absolutely sick of seeing tartan used to demonstrate loyalty to Jacobitism and not be able to prosecute it because it didn't say anything. It was just tartan. And indeed, that was even worse when you got to things like the Edinburgh pattern tartan of 1713, which was the Jacobite tartan. So if you wore it, you were just saying, I'm a Jacobite, up yours, really, because I'm wearing their tartan, but you can't prosecute because it's not within the treason or sedition legislation. So that's why tartan was prescribed. But within the idea of tartan as a patriot, as a patriot cloth, there were also status tartans, which were often used by the leaders of a sept or the chiefs of the name or their close relations.